Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thank God it's
EIF to you. Welcome to the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFR Live.com. Josh and Zach hanging out with you this morning. What's up, Mr. Zabala?
Hey, Josh. Hey, everybody out there. Oh, I'm trying to wake up. Man, I fell asleep by 10 o'clock. I don't know. I'm just really groggy. I'm going to have to double shot that coffee. Oh, how was your week?
It's all right, I guess. It's been cold. That's for sure. We're running about 9 degrees here. Looking to go down to about 7 before we warm up for a high today of a balmy 12. So, dealing with some cold.
I don't even want to look at the weather yet. I
And
think it said 30s today, I'm hoping, at least. It's been, not too bad. 50s, 40s, but yeah, I know the cold's coming, so I'm not gonna gripe about it. 43 today for a high.
That's not too bad.
No, but then 22 for the low. That's no possible.
Yeah. That'll make you
won't go out the window.
I just walk around with blindfold on. Earmuffs, so nobody tells me that it's snowing. And really, the cold around. Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the cold wouldn't be too bad, but for the fact that the heater core on my car is done, and called around to get a quote to get it replaced, and it could be anywhere from like $800 to like $2,000, $3,000. It's ridiculous.
It's a Ford, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
heater
watching.
Core is up underneath the dashboard.
I think it's on top. So, like, to get to it, you've got to, pop the hood because that's where the firewall is. You've got to get to it. I think you've got to end up taking, like, part of the front fender off. That front quarter panel look like. I'm not entirely sure, but you might have to take that driver's side seat out. You got to take the steering column out. You got to take the dashboard out. You got to take the center console out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
I did that
fucking process.
Yep. It took me 16 hours to change my heater core. And I had lots of screws left over when I was done.
How's that for efficient?
There's so many screws and things holding in the dashboard. And I was so frustrated and just done with all that stuff. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, it was I think right around this time of year too, I was out in my barn with the wood stove trying to keep it warm in there. Oh, it was freezing. And that just makes a nice cracked knuckle that much more pleasant when it's nice and cold.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the fuck I'm going to do with that heater core. So I don't know. Been driving the wife's car all week because she can work from home now after almost a year of conflict and stress and all kinds of
now
bullshit.
She can work from home.
Yeah. She doesn't like it though. She'd rather go in. I mean, there's dogs. There's all sorts of distractions and stuff. It makes her job so much more difficult when she works from home that she would rather just get up, get dressed, and go in and be able to focus and do her shit and not have to worry about barking dogs or needy dogs. And
yeah, I could see how I wouldn't get anything done if Hank was. And I don't. He goes inside when I'm outside working or something. I swear, he loves. He's like me. He likes to wander. I'm just gonna go over here and check this out for a while. It's like, no, dude, I'm working. Come on. Cracks me up. How are the dogs doing? Are they anyone warming up to you anymore?
I mean, slightly.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Baby steps.
Yeah, very, very tiny baby steps. And I knew it would just be a matter of me being patient. And it is just ever so incrementally that unless you were here the whole time, it might not look like she's made a lot of progress, but she really has, considering where she was when we first brought her here full time.
Yeah, she used to just growl as soon as you'd look at her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Poor thing. You'll get her. You'll break her.
Or not. Either way. I'll be all right. It's not a personal affront to my ego to have a dog not like me. Well, maybe it is a little bit. Maybe it is a small personal affront to my ego when a dog doesn't like me. But I love you. Love me back. But they don't always.
Yeah, when I got stung by a wasp, I was down in Louisiana, and I was just sitting there looking at that wasp like, dude, why did you do that? I wasn't messing with you. I wasn't. I was more disappointed than anything.
And I bet that just made the wasp feel horrible. They hate it when you tell them that. It's not that I'm angry with you. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, fuck. So much easier when you're just mad at me.
So did you hear that some physicists are claiming that they have cracked the unsolvable three-body problem?
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I read that. And it's a bold statement after having read that whole article. Bold statement to claim they have solved the three-body problem.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long into the article for them to admit, well, we didn't really solve it.
But if you're drunk, then we'll know where you end up, and it makes sense.
It makes for a good headline, though, doesn't it? Grabs people's attention. I was wondering how many people were going to come out and say, look, we solved it, without even reading it. Because it doesn't take long for them to admit it. Did you hear about the boom that shook Pittsburgh on New Year's Day?
I did not.
NASA says it was an exploding half-ton meteor. Now a meteor that caused a loud boom heard in western Pennsylvania on New Year's Day exploded in the atmosphere with a blast equivalent to 30 tons of TNT, NASA said on Monday. It was heard a few minutes before 11 a.m. Had it not been cloudy, the fireball would have been easily visible in the sky as it broke apart. 11:30 a.m. Okay. NASA said a crude estimate indicated that the blast would have been about 100 times the brightness of the full moon. That's pretty bright.
But still not bright enough to see behind cloud cover?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because you can see a full moon through cloud cover. Just not like the moon, you don't see it, but you see a light.
You can see the light, right?
Yeah. So you multiply that 100 times, and nobody saw this thing?
Called shenanigans.
Yeah. That's what they say it's moving 45,000 miles an hour. Close to a half ton. Like they could know any of this stuff just by somebody recording the noise. I think, well, I don't know. Have you heard of those gunshot monitors that they have around cities?
Yep.
I hear they're pretty accurate.
From who?
The guy I knew, he was a maintenance man. Now, it was secondhand knowledge. He didn't see the test done. But he said that one of his cop buddies, when they were testing it, was saying how accurate it was. I don't know. But they say they could tell what caliber even of round is fired.
Yeah, see, and that's, again, I call shenanigans. How many different mods can you add to a gun that's going to change the report?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a perfect world where everything's in a vacuum and,
And see, I think they had some of these set up around St. Louis and were having false alarms going off for things that weren't gunshots. Yeah, as I recall, I remember it being incredibly inaccurate. At least the ones here in St. Louis.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
And maybe they've upgraded the tech since then. I'm sure they have. They're probably super sensitive mics that pick up conversations all around. It's just for gunshots.
Yeah, it's definitely not working in Chicago. They had over 800 murders last year. That's insane.
It is.
Now, they said that was the highest in 25 years. But I was alive 25 years ago. I don't ever remember Chicago having that many. That's a lot. Yeah, I mean, it was usually right around 300, something like that, 350, I think. And they'd have a couple bad years in there where they were up in the 500s, but I don't remember an 800. That just seems... Yeah, I guess it wasn't a great idea to defund the police, was it? Yeah, all these... Well, I guess out there out west, they're doing the same thing finally now. they're starting to acknowledge that there's a problem. I guess that's a good step. That's the first step. Hey, all of these laws that we've been putting into place are making things worse. Who would have thought? You know, when the criminals don't steal up to $1,000, then there's no bail. Don't worry about it. So steal $900 worth of stuff. You know, they come get you, pick you up, take you down to the station, take your picture and your name, and then send you on your way.
At best. There's some calls that they won't even respond to.
Oh, most they don't. I mean, it's like flash mobs now that are choreographed on social media. Yeah, I'm just blessed. I really am. I don't know. I guess Denver's getting pretty crazy all of a sudden again. Yeah, Cammy and Bob both are so happy to be out of there. I mean, they love the place. It's, you know, it's where they grew up and lived most of their lives, but yeah, to see it change like it has.
It's got to be a little sad, a little heartbreaking.
Yeah. But I mean, that happens. I mean, because Northwest Indiana was the same for me. I grew up in this little town that was surrounded by steel mills or surrounded by cornfields on three sides, and then connected to like the Chicagoland area region by one side a little bit, and everybody just kind of stayed away from that side. You know, that was considered the other side of the tracks, pretty much. But it was just a beautiful little town to grow up in. You know, people didn't have to lock their doors, and it was one of those places. And then by the time I was 21, 22, it was not a place where you would leave your doors unlocked or a window or the screen door and you know, it just changed. So yeah, instead of getting all upset about it, I just remember the good old days. Whenever I have to pass through there, I just think of, I remember when that was a cornfield, and that time I was running through there and fell into that big giant puddle and forgot my buddy's dad's fishing pole stuck in the bike spokes. I remember his face when I had to tell him that. Oh man, I felt so bad. What was the name? I'm having a brain fart. I think it was a Zebco, but it was it was not for a overhand. It was a Zebco that was like made for a bait or a open face as well, which was really rare back in the day. And it broke down like 4 times into real small, like 2-foot pieces. It was this cool, really long. It was a really long medium. Yeah, yellow. I felt so bad breaking that thing. But then I made him the fishing lure. We're even.
That helped. That did it.
Yeah. I really wanted that fishing lure. It was the first one I ever made. And I caught a fish on it. But I'm glad I gave it to him because he's probably still got it. And I wouldn't have it if I would have, you know, been in charge of holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was around 12 to 14 sometime right around there. At that age, yeah, I wouldn't have it. So, Starlink's head of India resigns as SpaceX refunds pre-orders.
Oops.
He resigned Friday for personal reasons, a month after the country's government ordered SpaceX to stop pre-selling the satellite broadband service until it gives regulatory approval.
Elon said he was going to kill me. So for personal reasons, I'm going to be resigning.
Oh my goodness. He says, my last working day was December 31st, 2021. I will have no comments for individuals and media, so please respect my privacy. That's a good way to just tell everybody to, fuck off. Oh, man. Yeah, that Starlink thing, I've not heard one good thing about it. Now, I don't know anybody who has it, but all the articles are showing that it's... But then again, I don't know, that wouldn't make sense. They always pump Elon up. I was going to say Elon's been rocking the boat lately, but I think that's Elon's job. You know, I wonder if they even allow him to tweet his own tweets. Do you think?
Probably. He's probably like Donald Trump in the fact that if he's going to say something, if he's going to do it, by God, he's going to do it. And you're going to know it came from him. Just based on some of the wording and things that get tweeted.
Yeah. See, I don't think Trump is the one tweeting that stuff.
I mean,
but he might be. I
we
don't
can
know.
get technical, as in who's typing it out. I mean, I suppose there's probably somebody there transcribing what he says. I don't know that he's got the phone in hand, frantically hitting his keyboard as he types it out. But I would guess they both have somebody there to specifically do that for them. And their job is to correctly transcribe the tweets.
I mean, it's just so weird that a president would be tweeting at all. I don't know. I mean, back in the day, politics was like, supposedly at least, it was all gentlemanly and, everybody was proper. There were no slang words used. Everybody spoke properly and, it was where words were shared and this and that and, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't buy it, but some of the stuff that these politicians tweet is just horrendous. I think they see the athletes and the actors doing it, and they know it's a way that, I mean, let's get real. You get more attention doing that than you would saying something on CNN nowadays.
Well, yeah, because hardly anybody watches CNN. But if you can get your tweet inserted into the news cycle, well, now you got all sorts of people talking about it that would have never seen it just on CNN.
Yeah, I mean, even the highest rated mainstream, I think it was, I'm sure it was a biased thing showing how drastically different the numbers were, but who knows? But I think they were saying Tucker Carlson was on top with like 3 point something million viewers. And then it went down to CNN, who was at like 0.6 million viewers, something like that. I think those might have been daily or for that show. And then they showed Joe Rogan, and it was like 11 million. And the mainstream media just couldn't understand why this is happening. It's like, well, yeah, I know you can't say it on the air, but it's because you're full of shit, you know?
Truth. And that would be our first segment of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Stick around for the second segment coming up right after this.
It's not that easy to pay the price if you can't see the promise. But all of us wouldn't mind paying the price if we could have a clear view of tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. If we had the high assurance with great probability of how it's going to work out, do you think we would hesitate to pay? The answer is no. But everybody hesitates to pay if the future isn't clear. But we can pay if we can see. My karate instructor said, Mr. Rohn, you cannot believe the incredible feeling of walking down any city street unafraid. I said, let's get on with the classes. Hey, I will sweat. I will put myself through the paces, right? What would we do for an extraordinary promise? Answer, the most unbelievable things. Would you crack the books? Would you burn the midnight oil? Would you engage in the extra thoughts and the extra disciplines if the promise was adequate? And the answer is, of course. But who wants to read? Who wants to burn the midnight oil? Who wants to put themselves through the paces if the promise isn't clear? Important price.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Greetings, Earth Explorers. My name is Brooks Agnew, and I am your host on X Squared Radio every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. This is where the past meets the future. We explore the mysteries of the universe and of the Earth. We might go a little past your imagination, but have no fear. You will be safely traveling with us. We will dissolve the propaganda of dangerous people with dangerous plans for the planet. We will discuss the latest technologies and challenges for humankind. We will discover the safest place for you to stand when the thinkings and doings of mankind come flying apart, and how you can be one of the people that helps put it back together. Join us.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
Good morning to you. Start your day off bright and shiny. Get up off your little hiney and begin your happy day.
And welcome back. Second half of the first half of the Ironworks kicking off right now. Zach and Josh hanging out with you this morning. Walter is still recuperating, still resting.
You must be, oh no, second half of the first half. Okay. My brain is not working. I don't know what is going on with my brain. It's just not firing on all cylinders right now. Okay. So, NASA and the White House need to get together and talk once in a while, I think.
Why?
Remember how it was right around, December 25th.
That's
there was an
Christmas.
article in there. Yeah. And they're quoting people from NASA here saying, commercial companies have the capability now to, they're talking about the ISS. In a couple years, they're going to let it burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. They say commercial companies have the ability to get us into low Earth orbit now, so we don't want to compete with that. This is Robin Gatens, the director of the ISS, told Recode. This is from Recode. We want to transition lower Earth orbit over to commercial companies so that the government and NASA can go use resources to do harder things in deep space. Okay. Makes sense, right? Let's stop the whole ISS charade. Take our name off of it. Smart. It's what I would have seen coming. But now this is spacenews.com, December 31st. White House commits to ISS extension. What?
Well?
So as of December 31st, just 6 days after the director of the ISS said they're going to let it burn up in a couple years, NASA said the White House agreed to extend operations of the ISS through 2030 now, all of a sudden. That's 8 more years. 6 days. It went from a couple years, we're just going to let it burn up, we're done, to now we're going to extend it now to, another decade. I don't know. And this is what we give, what is it up to now? $24 billion a year to? And in 6 days, their agenda changes that dramatically.
It's almost like they just say things with zero thought of the consequence or repercussions or any sort of responsibility for the aftermath.
And I know, according to the whole budget and all that, the $24 billion is just a drop in the bucket. Blah 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 blah. Do you know what a real person could do with $24 billion a year? You know how much good someone could do with that kind of money and help out? Geez, probably people around the world, not just the American people. But I mean, really, what has NASA done for us lately? Tang?
I like Tang.
You know, they claim to have done Velcro, but no, Velcro was made before NASA was even formed, so they can't really claim that one. I can't think of anything that NASA's really. I mean, all the research and development that they do, they get a patent for it, and then they turn around and sell it to the highest bidder, who then turns around and sells it to us to buy this technology that we paid for. It's frustrating. It really is. All that, just time, just the time and effort of the people's collective. I know it's just like $1 something a week or $2 a week, something like that, out of people's taxes. It's not a huge amount of money.
350 million people in the U.S. I mean,
Yeah, but you gotta think people that are working. It's like 100. We'll say 100 million people working in the U.S. 110 maybe. Then you break that down over a year. Every week it's like $1.75 or $2.75, something like that. It's not a huge chunk of the taxes that they take. Most of it goes towards military spending. I think their yearly budget was over $750 billion now. So out of the whole shebang, I mean, it is a drop in the bucket. Could you imagine that? Having $700 billion? Yeah, if we just defended our country and its borders. I don't know. The whole geopolitical, nah, I have a bigger stick than you. My dad could beat up your dad. It really is like a school playground. It seems like the people in charge never actually grew up. I don't know. It's just how I see it. Oh man, sorry everybody. How is everybody doing out there in chat? Let's see who all is here in the YouTube chat today. Started off with Capalicious 420, Voynich, Zombie Snoop, Allison Briscoe, of course, Ian, big shout out. We got Daz, of course, the Iron Maiden, Liz. Hope you're doing well. The Hoary Sheet. I want to know more. Love his channel. Go check out. I love just watching him walk through the woods and talk. His voice is so calming and soothing. Yeah, those are my favorite ones of the videos he puts out. We got David Weiss in the chat, DITRH. Sorry, everybody. This is the first time I'm really looking at chat. Iron Horse, Seeking Starwater, Alexander Lightwater. Welcome, everybody. So, yeah, I thought I was a big boy last night.
Oops.
Thought, I could eat 2 brownies. I really didn't. The one brownie really didn't do it to me too bad. So I'm going to eat 2 brownies. Yeah, that was too much.
Just Wednesday. Zach says, I think I'm immune.
Yeah, Zach is definitely not immune. Zach learned a lesson last night. Whew.
Always good to know, can still keep you in check.
Oh man, yeah. I'm still not functioning properly. I mean, last night I stood up and my legs were like spaghetti, and they weren't like asleep. It was like really drunk person legs. I was like, whoa, I haven't felt like this in a long time. Yeah, 2 brownies is too much. No, 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 no. Never again. So yeah, that's why I might sound a little like this. Yeah, David, I Baldini'd myself. I did. Yeah, after I won a couple days ago, I was like, that wasn't too bad. I felt a little bit, but it wasn't. Yeah, 2 was too much, and it was more like 1.5. I grabbed a real small one to go with it, but yeah, nope. No, third brownie would no.
Shout out, Ross.
No,
That's awesome. Amen. The third brownie, brother. That's where it's at. Got to go for that third one. See where it's always push the boundaries. Just got to know where your limits are.
2 brownies.
That's right. That's what you sound like after 3 brownies.
That's what I feel like I sound like right now. I just feel like I'm talking so slow and Yep. I concur, Steven. Mm-hmm. I like the way he talks. He liked the way I talk.
He likes the way I talk, and I like the way he talks. Mm-hmm.
So this is a fun one. Astronomers discover one of the biggest structures ever seen in the Milky Way. Yeah, but you haven't seen it, have you? Okay. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Hydrogen filmed this and fused this and did all that. And then it made Interstellar this, and something happened over there and made that. So an international team led by astronomers from Max Planck Institute of Astronomy, the MPIA. Max Planck. Never heard of it. Recently noticed a massive filament of atomic hydrogen gas in our galaxy. They named the structure Maggie. It's about 55,000 light years away on the other side of the Milky Way. Oh my goodness. And it's one of the longest structures ever observed in our galaxy. Okay, how big is this thing? Now, 55,000 light years. Now, you've listened to David's stuff. Let's see how well you were listening, Josh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, how many miles is 1 light year?
1.7 million.
I think it's more than that.
That was just a completely arbitrary number I pulled right up out of my ass. So don't feel like I was.
I think it's like 5
educated
trillion. Let's look it up to be precise. 1 light year in miles. Yep. Yeah, 5. Whoa, no, we're million, billion. Yeah, trillion. 5,878 billion miles. Billion miles. So 5 trillion, almost 6 trillion. 5.8 trillion miles. So now you think a trillion. Well, that's not that big, right? Now, this is question 2. We'll see if you were paying attention. How many seconds? If you instead of saying 5 trillion miles, we'll say 1 trillion seconds. So we'll get rid of the 5.8 or even the 5, and we'll just break it down to 1. Just 1 trillion miles. So if you were traveling 1 mile a second, how long would it take you to travel the whole trillion miles? So 1 second equals 1 mile. So what is 1 trillion seconds? How long would it take you?
30,000 years.
Hey, that's a really, really good guess. You were paying attention at dirt school. So yeah, I mean, 30,000 years. And that's just for one of the 5.8. So it's more like 150, 102. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah, ridiculous amount. 200,000 years. Now they claim that they can see this stuff. That is on the other side of the Milky Way. Isn't there like a big thing in the middle of the Milky Way that we can't see through?
I don't know.
The thing at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, the black hole or whatever.
Should we nuke it?
Yeah, it needs to be nuketed. And this is what NASA is spending money on, giving it to people like this to tell us this stuff. They still haven't told me how big it is. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, and not for nothing, I think it's nougat and caramel. Three Musketeers is the one that only has the nougat. Milky Way, I think, has nougat and caramel.
It measures 3,900 light years long and 130 light years wide. So it's a cloud of gas. Oh my goodness. It's just all poppycock. This is nonsense. It's just nonsense. And I bet these people that discovered this and are, this and that and yada, 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 I bet they get paid pretty well. They probably all have hybrid or electric cars and live in their little Silicon Valley area or wherever they're at. I'm sure they're getting paid very well. And how is this helping humanity at all? At all? Is this helping make cleaner water? A fuel that doesn't require oil, petrol? I mean, where's the Jetson shit at? Shouldn't we all be flying around in cars and pushing buttons and having turkeys pop out of the wall?
Right? Getting sucked around in vacuum tubes instead of taking the stairs? Like we all live inside a bank?
mean, really, with all this money just being thrown around like it is, it should be kind of a utopian society with as much money as being thrown around.
Yeah. That's on my mind a lot. Just all of these billionaires getting richer and all these corporations getting richer and all of these politicians getting richer and all of this money and the way that I just heard we're going to be getting another 15 to 20% inflation increase at the grocery store across the board. Everything in the grocery store is going to be going up 15 to 20%, which just means I make less because there's no way I'm getting a 15 to 20% pay increase.
Well, no, that's absurd.
Right. So that just means fuck me, who is down a car because he can't afford the $2,500 to get his heater core fixed. And they're just playing with numbers in the billions like it's nothing. How many of these people do you think have had to survive paycheck to paycheck? Which is how I think public service should work. If you are increasing your wealth as a public servant, you're probably fucking crooked and you should probably be brought up on charges. Plain and simple. You should struggle. It should be a service. It should be a sacrifice to serve your country, not a fucking payday.
I agree 100%.
So again, it's just proof positive that there's a much smaller middle class than there was, and it is shrinking quickly because they are definitely redistributing wealth up the chain. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And it's becoming blatantly obvious and will continue to do so, I think. Until something has to change.
Yeah, when did they start this? In 2008, I believe it was. They called it quantitative easing.
Yep. QE1. Again, we'll blame Obama. Same reason we have to defund the police is because the Dems militarized the police in 2008.
Yep, it wasn't my idea to give them big giant tactical Hummer armored vehicles with 50 cal machine guns on top and all this nonsense hoo-ha.
Yeah.
It sure wasn't my idea.
There's no reason a county cop needs 2 fucking MRAPs. None. Unless, of course, you plan on going to war against the people. Or you want to make it look like you're going to war against the people to scare the people enough to say, hey, we need to come and defund your ass.
Yeah, those chess moves they make. As dumb as the people are that are, like visibly pulling the strings in our eyes, the people behind the scenes, man, they are 10 moves ahead. They really are. When you look at some of those Illuminati cards, the pandemic one, I had no idea, no clue. I didn't do my research in history. But the Chimera one, what are they going to do? They show a giant crab coming up out of the ocean. Like Godzilla type size. Is that even possible to pull something like that off? We're going to have to ask that question, I think, when we get back.
Yeah, we've only got about 45 seconds or so. And I would say, no, they couldn't. Now, is there a reality in which it would have worked? Probably. And this is probably one of those considerations that are taken in. That's how they're 10 moves ahead, because they plan for every consideration. because we progressed in one way, they couldn't use the giant chimera crab coming up out of the water. But had we progressed a certain way in the past, there probably would have been a way that they could have easily worked in a giant chimera crab coming up out of the ocean. But they can't and won't. Or maybe we'll play it later at a chance when they can. But I think it's all just sort of a matter of when can we and how can we and what's the chances we can get away with it. But that is the first half. That's hour number 1 of the Ironworks. Right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Stick around. Hour number 2. More space lettuce. More good stuff from the chat. We'll be back.
My name is Ella.
Drink.
And I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
The young turds, they are a joke. And look, I'm sad that the young turds turned into that. He says, if Joe Rogan tries to assault me, whatever, that's incredibly dumb. When you're a turd, you're a turd. Guys, I've never been scared to fight in my life. Get up! When you're a turd, you're a turd. Joe's with Dennis. I'm not kissing his ass. What? Just please stop fighting. To be fair to Joe, people keep making it seem like we're into beef. Am I going to fight him? Absolutely. I'll end you all. Oh, you say that to my... What's he going to do? He's like a gorilla. I've seen Joe beat people up. But I do know Shake is full of crap. If I was an out of shape fat ass, he's way worse than I am. He's put out a tweet just saying that he will beat up Joe Rogan. I'm not putting Joe on blast. It's all his little boys who are like, oh no, Joe's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. Okay. When you're a turd, you're a turd. Guys, I've never been scared to fight in my life. Get up! When you're a turd, you're a turd. Joe's with Dennis. I'm not kissing his ass. What? Just please stop fighting. I know I'm triggering them all. Do not actually fight each other. This is Satan talking about how if he was a dictator, he thinks about legalizing bestiality and pleasuring animals.
If I were the benevolent dictator of the world, I would legalize bestiality where you are pleasuring an animal.
Whoa!
I'll tell you what. There was like a guy or a girl or something that was pleasuring a horse, and the horse came to a conclusion, right? So who got harmed?
This is all, you guys are children, okay? Stop misleading people. When you're a turd, you're a turd. Guys, I've never been scared to fight in my life. Get up! When you're a turd, you're a turd. Joe's with Dennis. I'm not kissing his ass. What? Just please stop fighting.
It is impossible to anticipate where the 2 monsters which suddenly appeared will attack next.
Hey, punk, think you're tough? When you're a turd, you're a turd. Guys, I've never been scared of fighting.
You are now tuning into the Truth Frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone
knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet.
Tell me things, internet. The Earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on The Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Well, that takes me back. Little Janet Jackson for you.
I used to love Janet Jackson.
Who didn't?
So I'm looking at some of these cards of the Illuminati card game. Seeing which ones they've pulled off. I can't find a list where I can just look at the cards. They have one fast food chains. Gives +6 on any attempt to destroy a green group. Nobody has any idea what's in those secret recipes, and when they find out, they forget again. The owner of this card can automatically hide 2 exposed plots on his turn. No action is required. But they're telling you the secret recipes, right? What they're putting in the food.
Demolishes your short-term memory. What's that?
I think they do that already.
What's that flavor enhancer that is in all the Chinese food? It'll come to me. Or I expect somebody in chat's going to find it before I do.
And they have a card called Daycare Centers.
MSG. Thank you, David M. Yes, monosodium glutamate. That's what I was looking for.
The flavor enhancer. Daycare centers. Drop your kids off and we'll take care of them, so to speak. This is kind of the same thing we're seeing in schools and everything today with this left agenda. That's where it's starting. It's not starting at home. Parents aren't telling their children this stuff. It's their teachers at school. This group always has the exact same alignments that its master has, and nothing can change those alignments unless the master changes. Wow.
Interesting.
Get the children. They don't care about us. They have a purge card, deprogrammer's card, the just say no card, and it shows a girl burning her sneakers and her albums. Give a +10 power or resistance to any straight group you control. Okay, blah, blah. It's just to play this. Okay. So it's like a straight group that you control. So they even control the straight groups. And when did we see this stuff happening? People burning books and things like that. It makes you wonder, in Nazi Germany, which books were they burning? Because if the truth came out tomorrow and NASA admitted that they were lying and everybody found out that everything we were told about space was, Narnia, I bet we'd see some piles of books being burned. Just saying. I bet there'd be a lot of pissed off people out there saying, hey, I don't want my children ever looking at anything like this ever again. We're just going to get rid of it completely. Poof, onto the pyre.
Yep.
So this card has been played already. They have a purge card. Can be used, used by your Illuminati. It destroys all agent cards currently in play which duplicate your own Illuminati group. So it's kind of getting rid of the Navy SEALs maybe that, saw too much. Or these agents in your own, that are part of your group. So that's not so much like a purge of the people. That's like a purge of your own. An immortality serum. That's an interesting card.
Mm-hmm.
Plague of demons, and it shows the Capitol building. Wow. Okay, I can't read it. It's all that. Say no more. Plague of demons, and it shows the Capitol building. What else do you really need to know about that card?
Right.
Eliza. Now this looks like. Is it really alive, or does it just think it is? So Eliza can be linked to any computer group or to the network. So this is like your Siri or your Alexa.
That whole advanced AI narrative that it's going to be able to start making decisions for itself and writing its own code and locking out its designers and programmers and becoming autonomous and taking over Skynet and creating Terminators to put everybody enslaved as batteries to become the Matrix, like they were talking about with Mike and Austin over there the other day.
Mm-hmm. But it says if you overpower it, Eliza will crash. You have to discard the card and it exposes all your hidden plot cards. Is that telling us something there? About one of their weaknesses, maybe? I doubt it. But that's interesting. Here's one that really hits home with me. The tidal wave. It makes you wonder, these tsunamis that we've seen in the past, is it naturally occurring? Or can they, man, create a tidal wave? It's just a huge, giant wave it shows crashing over the top of buildings. I don't know. Quarantine? Epidemic? There's one called Power to the People. Withering Curse? Not sure what that is. Nephews of God? 1,000 Points of Light? The New World Order? The Weird Turn Pro? What is that? It shows... this card play counts as an extra increased power to blah, 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 blah. I really don't know what it's supposed to mean. It shows a lady with fruit in her hair and some weird branch on her head, and a guy that looks like Elton John fiddling with her hair from behind. The Weird Turn Pro. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Paranoids. Metric System is on there for some reason. Let's Get Organized. Las Vegas is one of them.
I remember Las Vegas being one of them. I remember France being one of them, and False Flag being one of them. I remember there was a time I had somewhere in my Facebook memories, there were 7 or 8, I think, different Illuminati cards that you could point to easily being played all at once. And
the Black Activist card, I could see the Grandmaster Flash or whatever that one guy's name was, who was talking when the gun went off. He was saying that can happen. I could see that. Terrorist Nuke. The Terrorist Nuke is amazing because it shows the Twin Towers. That's wild. This was 1994. Law and Order. It shows a law officer all dressed in black hitting a guy with a baton. Martial law. Pentagon being hit. They have. Wow. It's just a game, right? The Conspiracy Theorist card. And it even says that the Illuminati love this group because they're weird. Oh, I can't see what it says. Often contain useful ideas. They're weird something. So yeah, that's just a man. Interference. It shows like a wrench. So when you destroy a pipeline or this or that or yada, 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 oops, there was an accident. There's an oil spill out in the middle of the Gulf. We're sorry. Semi-conscious Liberation Army. Oh my goodness. The stock split. Science alarmist. I haven't seen anything about the whole global warming type stuff, though. They do have political correctness. A political correctness card. Earth First card, local police. I never knew anybody who had any of these cards. Have you ever seen any of these cards like in person?
No, I don't think I have.
It seems that there's multiple sets. I think people have made newer ones, but the original I think was from 1994. From what I'm seeing. But yeah, I mean, they put it right out there. I didn't see the Chimera one, though. Oh, yeah, that is right. Mark Sargent has a set. Thanks, Martin. Big shout out. Martin Liedke. Killing it over there.
Always.
It's like every time I watch Martin, I have to sit there and just rethink something. Like, well, now with that changes this, and that changes that. And we really are living in the age of idiocracy. I mean, look at the break. Did you guys hear the commercial?
I did not know.
It was the guy from the Young Turks and Alex Jones talking about how Joe Rogan would beat his ass, and that guy saying how he would take Joe Rogan and this and that and yada, yada, yada. It's like they're children. And the Young Turks guy is supposedly like respected somewhat, I think. I know they've been around doing that forever. But yeah, it's the whole my dad would beat up your dad and blah, 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 blah. It's stupid. I mean, really? I've seen the Young Turks guy, and yeah, he's, a big guy. But look at Joe Rogan, dude. That guy's an animal. That guy works out, obviously, like every day, most likely. Joe Rogan's in a gym or doing something, some kind of workout. That guy from the Young Turks, Joe Rogan, I mean, there's videos of him training. That he can actually do, this stuff. It's not just him talking about people fighting. He actually has not like participated, but he's been down there in the holds or done the holds on people. He has a little bit of knowledge physically when it comes to this kind of stuff. Why would you utter anything about beating up Joe Rogan or this or that, even if you thought you could? I mean, this guy's supposed to be like a political journalist. Is this the WWE journalist, or is this? I don't. It's so childish, and people look up to these people. Oh, I don't get it. And I figured out all these young guys who love Joe Rogan so much, and he's their alpha. All these beta males out there, Joe Rogan is their alpha. Flat Earthers. The Flat Earther card. What does that one say on it?
I can pop it
Doesn't
open.
it say something about how the Flat Earthers know something?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've got it. Let me pull it up.
The first time I saw that, it was well before Flat Earth. And I was like, wait, what? What do they mean the flat earthers know something? I was like, oh, they got to be talking about the fake moon mission. You know, something like that. It's got to be. But yeah, I had no idea.
I just saw it.
Which brings me back to the whole chimera thing. Could they do that? Or have they done it in history? We know they've done the pandemic card, epidemic card in history. We know they've done the false flag one. We know they've done the take out the leader assassination card. The whole tsunami one, I don't know if they have that kind of power. Moving that much water, I don't know. At one time, I'm sure they did. The flat earther card says people laugh, but the flat earthers know something.
There it is.
And that's all it says.
People laugh, but the flat earthers know something. For each action, you may roll 2 dice. If your roll is equal to or less than the number of places you control, the flat earthers' weird alternate geology has led them to a gold strike.
Huh.
And you may draw as many pilot cards as the number you collect. I think is what that says. Add 1 to power and 2 to resistance.
The NASA card shows them in a studio.
With the lunar lander.
Yeah, like a cardboard cutout looking lunar lander. The cardboard cutout moon rocks, and then a flat fake earth on the background on a dark wall.
Somewhere I had the flat earther card and the NASA card next to each other.
Wow. Trading card games is one of the cards. Now I see like this card I don't remember. It says Hillary Clinton on the card. Gives +2 to any attempt to control Bill Clinton, congressional wives, or Democrats. I don't remember a Hillary Clinton card.
Well,
That seems a little too...
It's probably one of the newer editions.
Yeah, it says it came out in the 90s, though. It's weird. I don't know. I don't remember that one. So, Mandela, maybe? I just came across, it's a book that says the earth is flat. Be afraid, be very afraid. Casper Stith, Stith. Be afraid, Illuminati secrets. What? I've never heard of this book. Have you?
Doesn't sound familiar at all to me.
I'm going to find out when it was written. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of new ones coming out. But this, it doesn't tell me when it was written. Oh, publication date, yeah, 2017. Huh. Well, okay, I learned something new today. There's a new book. Casper Stith. Stith, everybody. Earth is flat. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Illuminati secrets. Came out in 2017. Fundy money.
Here's a good one. Science fiction fans. It's got this guy, an astronaut in space, floating just above Earth. Oops. Yeah, make this big. See what it say.
Science fiction fans. I love it.
He gives +2 to any attempt to control or destroy any computer group. And gives its master a +6 to any such attempt. +2 to any attempt to control weird groups. Speaking of, we'll be right back right after this.
You need to get this in your spirit because I don't know what you're walking through, but some of you right now, you are in a tough season. An event has happened and something's happened and maybe you have failed. But I want to remind you that failure is not final, it's formative. It is not final, it is formative. It is part of the process. It's part of the journey. Your failure matters as much as your success. How do you think you're going to grow if you don't ever fail? Yet some of you have failed and you have decided, well, guess what? I'm a failure. No, failure is an event. It is never a person. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you're a failure. In fact, failure is actually fuel for your future. The way that you grow, the way that you advance. You have to fail in order to succeed. I wish I could get a witness at 12:15 who knew that they've gone through some failures, and just because you failed doesn't mean it's final. It's formative.
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? Aya Life is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to ayalife.com now. That's AYA life.com.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favor is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
time to make the donuts.
It's Friday, my dudes.
And a happy Friday to you all. Welcome back for the fourth and final segment of the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Been a good show so far, though. I've had a good time. Are you awake yet?
I'm getting there.
That'll do.
I'm getting there. So I just found this. I can't find a date, though. That woke me up a little bit more. Okay, this was 9 months ago. The most searched conspiracy theory in your state. Now, this only gives the U.S. So you have black helicopters, the New World Order, New Coke, Flat Earth, chemtrails, Deepwater Horizon, lizard people, and I think that's it.
So you mean there are people still in a significant way searching the Deepwater Horizon?
It looks like North Dakota.
As of 9 months ago?
9 months ago.
Or was the story?
And moon landing was fake.
Is the story from 9 months ago, but the study from 9 years ago? What the fuck?
Yeah, I guess there's still people in. Maybe it takes a while for the news to get out there to North Dakota. I don't know. But yeah, it says North Dakota, Deepwater Horizon. Most states are New World Order. Ohio is the only one. Moon landing was fake. That's the most searched conspiracy theory in Ohio. Chemtrails in some of them. You have Nevada, West Virginia. New Coke. What is New Coke?
I think it's like similar to old Coke. But not as just not as old.
Is there a conspiracy theory about the New Coke?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go back to chat and see what. Am I? I was up to a lot of, up on a lot of the conspiracy theories out there and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, New Coke.
Maybe that's just people trying to find meth. I don't know.
Oh, what's the name of it? Pervitin, I think it's called. Have you ever heard of that?
No, it sounds like something that Joe Biden takes, though.
Yeah, I think that's meth, coke, and opiates all mixed together. The Nazis were giving it in small doses to their troops. I think that's what Hitler was on. But yeah, they called it Pervitin. It just came in little pills that they made. It was, it was from the doctor. It was okay for you. Yeah, that's one way you get your army to lose. You get everybody hooked on meth. Oh my goodness.
Gotta use it sparingly. Fuck, everything in moderation.
So there's 3 states with flat Earth. Colorado, Utah, and I feel dumb, but the state right above Colorado and Utah, is that Wyoming? pretty square shaped, almost a perfect square. Never been to Wyoming. Yeah, that's Wyoming. So those are the 3 states that do flat Earth. Lizard people, Montana and Washington. Tupac is alive, New Mexico. And most are New World Order. New Coke, though. I don't know what New Coke is. And more black helicopters than I thought I'd see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Missouri is black helicopter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And this
most of them are
state-by-state study has been brought to you by New Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
What is New Coke? Let's all go search New Coke. What is this?
It's a great way to advertise, isn't it? I'll just say it's a conspiracy theory. That'll get people looking at it.
At least this market share. Like all the YouTube videos that put flat Earth in their tags or their titles that have nothing to do with flat Earth or anything flat Earth related. All the yoga videos.
So China's $1 trillion artificial sun fusion reactor just got 5 times hotter than the sun. Oh my goodness.
So is that like the surface of the sun? Or are we talking the sun's corona where millions of degrees? Otherwise, it's just like a few thousand degrees, right? What do you fucking do? They're saying that the
no.
So it's not as so it's much hotter than the surface of the sun, is what they're saying.
Yeah, it maintained a temperature of 158 million degrees Fahrenheit.
Sure. That makes perfect sense.
For over 1,000 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
158 million degrees.
Right.
What do they use to hold this heat? Oh my goodness, folks.
Only
They
killed
really
a few million
think we're
Chinamen.
retarded. Sorry.
Say only killed a few million Chinamen. I mean, seriously. They're just going to say with a straight face, without even the least bit of incredulity of these claims that China makes about anything. But China says, so I guess that's a pretty fucking cool thing. I mean, so China had a 158 million degree sun for a few minutes. How would that affect anything? It's not going to affect the temperature anywhere else. It's not going to destroy things within a huge vicinity.
158 million degrees. Oh my goodness. You can't even fathom it. You can't. There's nothing that even comes close to being able.
So how hot is an arc that travels up Jacob's ladder?
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can, what the temperature of like lightning is or something. Certainly don't think it's 158 million degrees. But still, you'd think anything that does get up to 158 million degrees would have more of an effect than a weird blurb on the internet.
Well, yeah, and I mean, lightning, the temperature of lightning happens instantaneously and then it's gone. It's not. They're saying this was over 1,000 seconds.
Which is,
That's
again, an
a
interesting way
significant amount of time.
to give
Yeah.
time, given you can divide that by 60 and start giving them it out in minutes.
I just don't get
over
it.
2,000 half seconds.
But nothing can be 158 million degrees for, well, let's just do the math. We'll even round down a little bit. We'll just say 1,000. 16 minutes. Over 16 and a half minutes. It was 158 million degrees. Bullshit. Just bullshit. Not even gonna try to fathom it any further than that. Not buying it. Show me. What thermometer told you this?
Right. How did you measure 158 million degrees? I just have my thermometer that maxes out at 500 million degrees.
I mean, when you just start breaking it down a little bit and trying to use a little bit of common sense, you start realizing, no, this is not real. Yeah, exactly, boy. Nothing melted or caught on fire. It was too hot for that to happen.
Science.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's not a brave new world. It's just going straight into idiocracy.
Sure do feel that way. Speaking of which, over the last, since the beginning of the month, since the new month, woo, happy new month, that it's probably closer to 15 now, but I think it was 11. Okay, 11 yesterday alone. 11 videos were removed off of our channel yesterday by YouTube because we were glorifying violence or inciting violence. Apparently, we may have either glorified it or we somehow, somewhere, incited somebody to do something. I don't know. But I've seen some awfully powerful videos of people taking control over their life by taking up mixed martial arts and the health benefits and mental benefits of mixed martial arts. You know, all the good things that can come from beating the shit out of somebody else. Right. But that's not glorifying violence. Apparently some show we did back 3 years ago glorifies violence or incited somebody to do something somewhere. I don't know. We don't even know what part of the video is. They just said, "Ooh, look at this. We're going to take it down." Sorry. When to appeal it, go ahead and appeal it, but you don't know what part it was. So you can't refer to our issue specifically because we didn't tell you what the issue was specifically. And now you can't go back and find it specifically. So go ahead and appeal. Go ahead. Have fun. Have fun with that. So
11 videos, huh?
Yesterday. Again, it's probably closer to 15 since the beginning of the year. Beginning of the month. Woo, happy new month.
I can't recall us ever inciting violence.
Now, that would be a story I would think would catch my attention, would come across my feed. right? Man starts beating the shit out of people. Man takes a knife and stabs people. Says he was listening to Iron Row Media on the internet. You would think something like that would come across. Ironworx made me do it. Couldn't help myself.
I mean, I told people to hug a trucker. That might have started some beef somewhere. I know some of these truckers don't want to be hugged.
Well, I know John Savage has had a few things to say about the politicians and the people that are in charge and what we should be doing with them, which I suppose could be glorifying and or inciting. But unless anybody actually went out and did it, then it's not inciting. And if they did do it, then, well.
The definition?
Of incitement? Of getting somebody to do
it?
I
People
thought.
would have to actually do something for you to incite them.
Right. That's what I thought. Right? Incitement
Is there an
implies
attempted inciting?
I don't think so. Which I think would be about the only thing they could say we did. Maybe you made an attempt to incite somebody to do something somewhere. Which, absolutely. We've always said to think more, to question everything. We've always tried to incite people to question things. Incitement is, again, they're saying we want incited violence. Show me where. If that's the claim, show me where. Anything on one of these videos that was taken down, someone did something because of that video, that clip, that issue that you now have. Then there was one that was like cyberbullying or something. But, well, that was Jonathan from Jersey. It was, I think, from Jonathan from Jersey on a Friday night. So that's quite possible. It's pretty accurate. But still.
Big shout out, Jonathan. Hope he's doing all right. Haven't heard from him here.
I did see he sent me a text not too terribly long ago. I think last week before, something about saying coming on in the morning. But I keep my phone pretty well turned off all the time. So if I don't catch it, then it gets lost. But he should know by now that he just drops in. Right? He doesn't need my A-OK. Or an engraved invitation sent prior.
Yep, door's always open.
It is.
So we got about, 7 minutes left?
That's it. About 7:10. I know what that means.
So have you heard how that guy that told Joe Biden, let's go, Brandon? All these Democratic politicians are saying, oh, this is such an outrage. Such a travesty that people would say this to our commander-in-chief. Do they not remember what they all said and did when Trump was president? What Kathy Griffin was coming out and saying? What they were saying at their Oscars or Emmy Awards or whatever those things were? De Niro coming out and just saying, fuck Trump. I'm just going to say it. How is that any different? In any way, shape, or form? How is it any different?
Trump realized what was going on. That's a big difference. Trump was never like, yeah, fuck me. No. That's the big difference. Trump at least had some idea of the conversation going on around him. Whereas it doesn't appear Joe Biden had any fucking clue. None. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. What does that mean? Like, people keep him completely in the fucking dark. Like, he had zero idea. It looked like Jill might have known and just wasn't quite sure what to do with it. But he just seemed completely oblivious.
Yeah, he was all about it. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. Like, is that the new saying? the young kids are saying today. I'll blurt it out too. It makes you wonder. I wonder what his Google searches look like. I bet they have a team of people putting out, advertisements of people wanting to buy his toilet paper after he's used it. Just, it's got to be like Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-il's, what, their leaders or whoever's in charge gives them. It's like reverse propaganda almost. You think they do that to these people? Or do you think they're in the know enough to know that they're playing the role and they're just being the bad guy they're supposed to be? Or the idiot they're supposed to be?
Probably both. I'm sure there's some awareness, but probably they are still not privy to the full picture and to the exact role that they play in all of it. I'm sure they're told what their role is, but it's probably considerably less than what it actually is. That's that illusion of control, the illusion of power. Is that ultimately it all hinges on the backs of everyone. But to hijack it requires this false sense of control and getting people to believe that you have that control. Spreading that false sense.
Yeah, I could see how they could manipulate even politicians to where the politician wouldn't have to be in the know, but just by all the feedback they're getting that they see, if it's all positive, then I'm just going to keep going even harder and further. And look at everybody's on my side. I'm just going to keep going. I don't know. I mean, what if even, I don't know. What if the news wasn't the same for everybody? I don't think they could, I don't know. I don't know. Like two different households across the country watching the same CNN hear different words type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't put anything past their at least capabilities of what they could do. Now, whether or not they would do it or, have come up with the idea or found a way to implement it is a whole other story. But it's scary what can be done nowadays in under a second with computers and the augmented reality and all this. I mean, Joe Biden on TV could be, some guy sitting in a room just talking, and then you see Joe Biden up on the screen. I mean, we've seen this with a lot of the old Hillary, what were they, her gatherings, where you zoom in on all the cell phones and she's not even up there at the podium. Just weird little glitches like that. It's, who knows? And do they know? I mean, with MK Ultra and how, that's over 50 years old now. The MK Ultra program. How fine-tuned have they got that down? I mean, a lot of these politicians are career politicians that have been here for decades. Are they programmed to where they see certain, light flickers that we don't even perceive, and it causes them to do certain, who knows? Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. And I think you're exactly right, Liz. They can't do half the stuff they claim they can. I think it's Sun Tzu's Art of War. You look strong where you are weakest, and look weak where you are your strongest.
Holy cow.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Have yourselves a great weekend. We shall see you right back here on Tuesday morning for more Ironworks. Otherwise, you can come back here to the Ironworks Media YouTube channel for some Have No Sphere this evening, kicking off around 5 p.m. Central. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be good. Be well. We love you.